Washington's clear-thinking headquarters. The Morning Majority, 5 to 9 on 630 WMAL.
737 WMAL, Brian Neiman, Joe DeGeneva in this morning on the Morning Majority. We are joined now by Farid Ghadry, president of the Reform Party of Syria. You can go check out his website, reformsyria.org. Mr. Farid Ghadry, thank you for joining us. I appreciate your time. Now, we've been focused a lot here in the U.S. on Egypt and Libya. Meanwhile, the brutality in Syria seems to only be getting worse. How bad is it right now in Syria?
Well, it's very bad, and it's getting a lot worse. Yesterday, tanks entered the city of Daraa. The city has been sealed. We don't know what's going on. Some eyewitnesses have seen corpses laying around. Nobody has any information about what's happening to the city, what's going on inside the city. So it's very, very tragic, and we hope that the media will pick up on the story and carries it to the world.
You know, I'm baffled as to why both here in the U.S. and even in Israel that Bashar Assad has gotten somewhat of a pass on this. There's been even mention of the term reformer when bringing up his name. Are you surprised at the lack of outrage in both the United States and Israel?
We're a little bit taken back because I think a lot of people still believe that Assad will survive this. And even though we keep telling them that this is not something that's going to be able to survive, this is really the people. It's organic. It's the people rising against the dictator, a brute dictator. And I think maybe they've gotten that message finally, because I had an interview yesterday with the Israeli radio, the IDF radio,
right.
And I think they may have gotten that message right now. And hopefully they will be reacting differently in the future.
I guess the fear is that what replaces Assad, and they're fearful that it could be more problems in the future without Assad, whether it's Muslim Brotherhood or some kind of extremist group taking over Syria. Do you believe that is a possibility? Are you worried about that?
We're not worried about that. This is really misplaced concern. When you look at the people rising today in Syria, their average age is 22 years old, which is the average age of a Syrian. And all they're asking is for freedom, for opportunity, for economic opportunities, for employment, to be able to raise a family, to be able to have a job. It's not about religion. It's not about anything of extreme nature. It's really simply about just having a life, just a decent life. And these kids, most of them are unemployed. There's rampant unemployment in Syria. And they see their president and his wife, traveling the world in private jets and being on Vogue magazine. And they're looking around and they're saying, that's not fair. That's not just. We want to have freedom. We want to have employment.
Farid, this is Joe DeGeneva. The United States apparently has put all its eggs in the Syrian basket for a number of years, trying to figure out a way to put a wedge between Syria and Iran. And that appears to have failed miserably, and it apparently is the reason that when asked about Assad, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton called him a reformer. It's quite obvious that we have misplayed this card, although perhaps there was no other card to play. Well, I don't get the impression that Assad is going anywhere. This looks like he's in charge and is going to win, especially since the rest of the Arab world is not condemning him the way they did Gaddafi. Not even a small resolution from the Arab League or anything. Why do you think he's not going to survive?
Well, first of all, we're getting some messages that, and they're confirmed, that some of the army units have refused to fire on unarmed civilians, and some of them have actually, they are mutiny within the army. And I think, given the fact that Assad is an Alawite who represent about 10% of the country, and the majority of people are Sunnis, it's a different case than what's happening in Libya and Egypt. This is a small minority. And within that minority, there's a smaller even minority that are brute people using force and violence to contain and oppress Syrians. And so when the people are going to rise, the majority of the people rising are rising not only because they feel that they have been oppressed, but they're rising also because they feel that this is not fair, that the small minority could oppress them and continue to oppress them, and them not having a say in the government of their own affairs. Now, in terms of reformer and feeding them from Iran, it's just there are some people out there in Washington that just are clinging to this concept. And no matter what happens, they seem not to let go of it because they don't think of the alternative. So we asked them to think of something different because I don't think Assad will survive this.
Well, what will fill the vacuum then if Assad is gone? I mean, what kind of government do you see in the future? And it's not only down the road, but right away if he is out of power.
Look, the transition from Assad to a democratic government is not going to be easy. It's not going to be happening very quickly, but there is a way to get it done, either through military coup, where someone can, a general in the army can actually let go of the civil government and allow the people to have a democratic country. And there are a variety of other choices. We're not asking for boots on the ground. We're not asking for no-fly zone. But we are asking the international community to morally support the people of Syria and to condemn Assad and to try him for crimes against humanity.
All right, Farid, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you coming on the show, and the website is reformsyria.org. Thanks again.